The day Pompeii was buried under ash on August 24, 79 AD, a date destined to be etched in history, the vibrant Roman city of Pompeii was overwhelmed by one of the most catastrophic volcanic eruptions ever recorded. Mount Vesuvius, dormant for centuries, awakened with unimaginable fury, burying the city under meters of ash and pumice. Today, we relive those dramatic moments to understand how the events unfolded and what happened to its inhabitants. Daily life in Pompeii. Before the disaster, Pompeii was a prosperous city, a commercial and cultural hub overlooking the Gulf of Naples. Its streets bustled with merchants, artisans, and nobles among temples, theaters, and baths. The domus were decorated with splendid frescoes and mosaics, testimonies of an affluent and refined lifestyle. Taverns were lively, markets were crowded, and life thrived with the vitality typical of a flourishing Roman city. Pompeii boasted an advanced infrastructure system, aqueducts for water supply, paved streets, and even an amphitheater where gladiatorial games attracted spectators from across the region. The baths were social hubs, and patrician houses reflected the luxury and opulence of the era. However, this tranquility was only superficial. Mount Vesuvius, dominating the horizon, was considered just another mountain, with no awareness of the destructive potential it harbored within. Warning signs of the catastrophe. In the days leading up to the eruption, strange phenomena occurred: small tremors, drying up of water sources, and restless animals. However, the people of Pompeii did not attribute these signs to an impending disaster. Earthquakes were common in the region, and the population was accustomed to living with them. Eyewitnesses like Pliny the Younger described the eruption phases in their writings, offering one of the first historical accounts of a volcanic event. The seismic activity intensified shortly before the main explosion, but the population was unable to foresee the imminent catastrophe. Mount Vesuvius erupts. The day of the disaster, the morning of August 24, began like any other day, but around noon, a massive column of smoke and ash violently erupted from Mount Vesuvius crater, rising kilometers into the sky. The volcanic cloud darkened the sun, turning day into night. Ash, pumice, and lapilli began to fall heavily, covering the streets and rooftops. Many tried to flee toward the sea or inland, but the situation quickly worsened. Overnight, incandescent pyroclastic flows, a lethal mix of scorching gases, ash, and debris, swept through the city, destroying everything in their path and killing instantly anyone caught in their wake. The eruption lasted for over 24 hours, alternating between phases of varying intensity. The temperatures of the pyroclastic clouds were so high that they instantly vaporized body tissues, leaving only skeletons and cavities in the volcanic material, which archaeologists later filled with plaster to create the famous human casts. The victims of Pompeii, the bodies of the inhabitants, were buried under layers of volcanic material. Centuries later, during archaeological excavations, impressive casts were discovered. The positions of the bodies tell stories of terror and despair. Families huddled together, people trying to shield their faces from the ash, and animals trapped in mid-escape. The victims included people from all social classes: slaves, merchants, nobles, and children. The positions of the bodies revealed desperate attempts to flee or protect each other. Some were found with valuable items, indicating they tried to save their most precious belongings. The discovery of Pompeii remained buried and forgotten for nearly 1,700 years until excavations began in the 18th century, uncovering a city frozen in time. The ruins revealed extraordinary details of daily Roman life, preserved as if time had stopped at the exact moment of the tragedy. The excavations, initiated by the order of King Charles III of Bourbon, brought to light streets, public buildings, private villas, and incredibly well-preserved frescoes. Today, Pompeii represents one of the most important archaeological testimonies of the ancient world, offering an unprecedented glimpse into Roman society. Lessons from the past. Today, Pompeii is a world-renowned archaeological site, a symbol of life's fragility and nature's unstoppable power. The eruption of Vesuvius reminds us of how fleeting civilization can be in the face of uncontrollable natural forces. Yet, thanks to this catastrophe, we have inherited a unique testimony of life in ancient Rome. Scholars continue to study Pompeii not only to better understand Roman life but also to improve our understanding of volcanic phenomena and geological risks. Modern technologies, such as 3D scanning and DNA analysis, are revealing new details about the people buried under the ash. Conclusion: the day Pompeii was buried under ash is not just a story of destruction but also a bridge between the past and the present. Its ruins still speak to us today, telling us not only about the tragedy but also about human resilience and curiosity that drives us to discover and understand our past. Pompeii is a silent reminder of how fragile life is and how precious historical memory is, helping us never to forget.